want to be Julie's friend so bad.
I'm just gonna come out and say it.
Okay, like, is it weird? Am I allowed to fangirl? Like, she's probably one of the most famous people, like, I've talked to, because she's, like, written so many incredible things, and she's had movies made on Netflix.
She's so fucking good. Not only that, but she is famous in a way that like, she means a lot to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's had this, like, impact.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I've really, or if we've like really spent a lot of time with somebody that has had such an impact on like their fan base and people, and like read their book and they're like, this like helped me, or like this changed me, or all of it.
I don't even know what the theme of this episode is. I just have like so many questions and so many like highlighted things in my like copy of it, and I was like almost in tears talking to Cody about like some of like her lines that she had in her book, and I'm like, I felt so seen, and it was so incredible, and it wasn't like gimmicky. It was genuine talent mixed with just refreshing perspective.
I'm going into this, and I was like, we're recording this before we're actually talking to her. I'm going into this though, like pretty much picturing her as Vera Stein. I don't think I've ever done that with a guest either. Like, I literally am just assuming that this is exactly how she's going to be, because I feel like she just, like, she wrote the entire thing. In my head, she wrote it exactly like how she talks.
Which is fucking hilarious, and that's why I want to be her best friend. Because I'm like, this girl's hilarious, and I love her. And she's here!
We were fangirling just now, sorry.
Oh no, that's so cute and so sweet. Thank you.
Oh my god, hi, I love you. Sorry.
Hi, I love you too.
guys too.
I'm gonna make it weird right off the bat.
No,
Yep, checking that box.
Yeah, I did it.
I'm always making it weird.
We're just doing what's probably just gonna be your intro, even though it was just us chatting, but we were saying out loud our thoughts of how much we want to be your best friend, and that this is our formal invitation, application.
Yeah.
What is it? What are the
application?
Yeah, perfect.
This is our formal application.
Application accepted.
God.
My God, just stop. Just how? Where do we even start? Because you have like
start. I don't freaking know.
You have a repertoire, like a catalog of books that you have written that is amazing. They've been made into Netflix movies. They've been like, you have written with your best friend. You've done all these things. But is this one like your very first like solo adult fiction romance?
So that's what we're calling it, kind of. So yeah. So are we recording? Are we ready to go? I can start.
Oh, yeah, we're recording. You're good.
I can talk. Yep. Start like really, really talking. So If the Shoe Fits, which came out a few years ago, is an adult book I did with Disney. And actually, when I signed on to do that book, it's a like rom-com retelling of Cinderella, and they've got like a whole series of like these adult rom-com books. There's like Christina Lauren did one, Jasmine Guillory, like there's several authors that have done them. But anyways, when I signed on to do that one, we actually didn't know what category that book was going to be. They were like, we don't know if it's going to be YA, we don't know if it's going to be adult, but we want you to do this. And I was like, okay. And so I kind of fell into that book. And I had a new adult book come out in May called Student Union, which is definitely closer to adult, but still like, you know, we're in college. We don't know how to call the doctor for a doctor's appointment. I still don't know how to do that sometimes. So this, I really feel like is my first like adult big girl solo book.
But so was it like a long time coming? Were you like itching to do it, or you're like, I think I'm ready now?
Okay, so what's funny about this book is I actually started working on this book before any of that, like before If the Shoe Fits. Like, I'm normally not a person who works on a book for years and years and years. Like, if it doesn't click, it doesn't click. Like, I don't like to hold on to projects and try to make them work, kind of like Vera does with her screenplay for 20 years. Like, it's just, like, I don't have the heart for that. Like, I don't have, like, maybe it's enough faith in myself or whatever it is. Like, I just can't do it. But I emailed my agent, John, about this book, about Vera Stein, in like 2016 or something like that. And I had been talking to Sierra one day. She was like, "Did you know that David Attenborough started a retirement home for actors in the UK a long time ago?" And I was like, "What?" Like, that's crazy. What if it's in Palm Springs and they were all horny? And then the idea just like a version of Vera Stein came to me like pretty immediately, and I wrote a whole synopsis for it and sent it to my agent. It's changed quite a bit since then. But I was like, "Hey, I know that we literally just had like the Dumplin movie come out and like all this other stuff, but like I really want to try to make this leap into adult books." And at this time it was kind of like not taboo, but like publishers were a lot less interested in seeing you jump categories. Like even doing like a young adult book and then moving into middle grade was considered like, "Oh wow, this is kind of a big deal." And here I am literally just all over the place now, like just essentially like me with a breeding kink in like publishing categories, just doing it all.
I love it. It's like it's a diversified portfolio though. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, there's something for everybody.
Yeah.
And you're writing, it just feels so. How do you? Because as a writer, we're both writers, but my biggest, or in the last book I wrote, at least I tried so hard to make it sound like I was talking. Like I just
Yeah.
wanted the
Right.
voice to be like literally me talking, and I did so many things to make that try to be possible or at least close to it. And you just fucking nail it so hard.
Thank
And that's
you.
what I said to Jenna before you said it. I was like, I'm just assuming that she's Vera because it sounds so voicey. And I was like, I'm assuming this is just how she talks. And if it is, I want to be her best friend because like
Yep.
it was,
Yep.
it
Like,
felt so natural. It felt so natural to read.
I want to be on a pink
Yeah.
flamingo floaty with you in Palm Springs.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yes.
I would love that. I think that like, oh my God, I keep telling my publisher, no one's ever gonna let me do this. I was like, what if we just have like a giant pool party in like the middle of the winter in Palm Springs and just like invite readers to go and hang out? I was like, wouldn't that be amazing? Let's do it, right? Let's do it. I know. Okay. If it happens,
Absolutely.
y'all will be the first to know.
I will sprint to the airport.
Yeah.
I will shove the children at the husband and be like, "Deal with it. I'm going."
Well, flamingo floaty on me, you know? But yeah, I think that I never had like any sort of formal writing education, and I think that uh if I had, it would have stressed me out too much and I would be trying too hard to be something in particular. But of course, I want like every book of mine to feel distinct, but I still want it to feel like a Julie Murphy book. So there are things that I know about a character going into a book that like change the way I like talk from first person and things like that. I mean, having a theater background might help, but like really it's just like I want my books to read like you're like hanging out with a friend and they're telling you a story. Like that's just I want it like Sierra and I say this about our books too. Like we just want it to feel like you're at a slumber party and your friend is like, "Listen to this shit that happened to me."
Oh, it did that and then some, and it
Yeah.
transported me into a retirement community that I didn't know I wanted to be at.
I know. You know, I always used to think of retirement communities as like this sad, depressing thing. But like as I've gotten older and like I've had like the older people in my life get older and I've seen them move into like more senior living type of places and I visit them or I help them move in, I'm like, this is baller. Like I want this. You have a great pool. You guys have craft night. You guys are vicious about your bunko games. Like I want this. This sounds great.
It's like everything you wish you could do as an adult.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's, there's medications and doctors involved in fall risks.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's all that is true.
Can I just say, like, okay, I'm gonna full disclosure, old people scare me. I have no. Like,
Tell me more about this.
No,
Is
I
it
did
because,
not
like,
know
you're
this about
scared
you,
of
Kate.
becoming
yeah,
old?
no, I like don't do well with old people. I don't know why. I think it's like a childhood thing. My mom was like a in-home nurse, so like she would take me to work with her, and we were like going to like these old people's homes. But I also come from like a super young family because my parents were like 17 and 18 when I was born.
Yeah.
So my grandmother she just died recently, but she was only like 77.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I'm almost 40. So like super young. So I've never really dealt with old people. But so this for me was like, old people rock. I would hang out with them. They're not
Yeah.
I like went into this like fear that I have of getting old and old.
I had no idea.
That's
I learned
wild.
something new.
But I get it. I do. Like, I think that, so I was the youngest the second to youngest in my like extended family. I'm originally from Connecticut. And when I grew up in Connecticut, it was a lot of like, you know, you get out of school and a random family member picks you up from school because mom is working or, you know, dad was in jail at the time. You know what I mean? Like whatever it is.
Yeah.
Surprise. Yeah. So like it could be anything. And so I always think I gravitated towards older people. Like even when I would do like summer camps or school, like I was always like the teacher's friend. Like I would always make like snide remarks about the other kids to like the adults in the room, and they would think it was the best. And so I think that like I've just always gravitated towards older people. And then over the last few years, my life changed significantly, and I became a caretaker for my dad for quite a while. And that just really changed how I thought about like aging and like I used to just be like, well, just turn me out to pasture when this happens in my life. And you don't realize like you still continue to live, you know what I mean? And so like that point at which you think it's no longer worth living when you're 25 and able-bodied is not actually a real thing. Like you just like life changes slowly over time and your body changes slowly over time or sometimes in an instant and you just adapt. So yeah, I think that you know, being the person who wipes your dad's ass just turns you into just really changes your
That'll do
perspective
it.
on aging, you know?
I'm gonna bring that one back to my dad and see how he feels about it.
Yeah. Okay, my dad passed away last month. And that sucks, but I have to tell you the funniest caretaking story I have with my dad. We've already talked about poop earlier before.
Yeah,
I don't
we're
even
good.
know if we were like talking yet, but like
Colostomy
recording.
bag, maybe?
But yeah, no, not colostomy bag, but
Good for
he
him.
he had just gotten from like a 9-month stint in the hospital, and he was at home and he was like, you know, I need some help in the bathroom, and I went to help him, and he just like had his like thing of wet wipes next to him, and so I went and helped him in the bathroom, and he's like standing up and leaning on the sink, and I gave him a good wipe. And there was a shriek coming from my father that I have never heard in my life. And I was like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" He was like, it just kind of stung a little bit more than I expected." And I was like, "Okay." And I peeked around at like what was on the counter, and I was like, "Dad, you handed me the Clorox bleach wipes, not the actual wet wipes." So
Dad.
I
You
just
bleached his asshole.
I just bleached your asshole. So people pay money for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got it for free.
Yeah, read it for
Like-
free. So anyways, yeah, bodies are funny and weird, but I get it. Like I have definitely definitely been like certain like types of people in my life that I was not raised around that like were actually very scary to me at times as a child. It's very weird and bizarre, but
Isn't it?
it makes sense when you're a kid.
On that side of things, like we will be older parents, but Ruby just gave me so much fucking hope
Ruby.
Yeah.
for my future. And
Yeah,
like
good.
her
I'm
story
glad.
was like but all of that I loved the romance. I loved the main character that was 40, like thank you, hello. But like it was honestly the old people that were the biggest
It was a
takeaways for
colorful
me.
cast
Yeah.
of characters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Colorful. Can you like every freaking person was just so real and so wonderful.
If you were to use, obviously, you've written a lot of books, you've done a lot of things. How would you describe this book in terms of your lineup in superlatives? Because Lauren Oakey, she always told us in like one of our previous episodes, she's like, I never want to compare this book to other books. I just want to say like, this book is my most character driven. This book was the hardest for me to write. This book was the most fun for me to write. Like, what would your superlatives be if you had to put your book in a yearbook of all of your other books?
Man, in a yearbook of all my other books, this book would be the book that like got held back like 3 years in a row and like barely graduated, but when they did, like they like really stepped into their own. So like let's go with like
Late bloomer?
late bloomer. Most likely to bloom late.
That's a trooper right there. That is, I don't know, that to me says like that book got through some shit
Yeah.
and it forced its way in.
Yeah. I mean, again, every time I would go back to it, I was like, I was a totally different person when I wrote these last few chapters. Like, I don't even relate to that person anymore. So like I had just become so many different versions of myself over the course of writing this book, but I think it just had to happen that way. Um, my awesome social media person, Flavia, saw this review that she's been using in like promo stuff that said something like, this book will do for 40-year-old women what Dumplin did for like 15-year-old girls.
That's so good.
And that's really what the process of writing that book felt like. You know what I mean? That like it felt like Dumplin was like to heal my like inner child, like the 16-year-old girl who was just like, you know, the fat girl trying to like just navigate high school. And this one is really like this one is 40-year-old me. Like if anyone out there is like, I want to know Julie Murphy as her truest self right now in this moment, read this book. Like, this is just like, this is the closest to me I've been on paper in a long, long time. So,
That comes through so much. Like how you are able to do that is awesome. I need to know about your experience with Dumpling too. Like while you're here and just like how
Please.
that all went down and what that was like, and I need to know
yeah.
all of it.
So the short long version of it is that like Dumplin was a book that was just bought for like a normal amount of money and was not supposed to be like this big breakout book. Like people were like, you know, it was going to get like a medium amount, like a normal amount of like in-house support at a publisher. And then people just started reading it like in-house at the publisher and getting really into it. And then it was the kind of thing where like a bookseller would read it and then call like the rep at the publisher and be like, did you ever actually read this book yet? Like I really love it. And so it was really just like grassroots support from the very beginning. And then a few months before the book came out, we sold the film rights to Disney. And that was like colossal and crazy and huge. And then Disney sat on the film rights for a while, but they ended up hiring the screenwriter and the producer. And the screenwriter had started working on the project. And then Disney, which is such a Disney thing because they've done it to me more than once, was like, you know, I think we're gonna concentrate on like adapting our own IP. So like turning Aladdin into a live action movie or like things like that, which
Not necessary, by the way.
well, I can't say that it doesn't make them money. So I get it. Mickey Mouse has to put a meal on his table too, you know? But anyways, all the people that they hired on stayed on the project. And then when I got the call from my film agent that Disney was cutting us loose, and she was like, don't go anywhere. You're about to get another phone call. Like, just sit tight. Literally in 10 minutes, you're going to get another phone call. And I got another phone call from the producer and the screenwriter. And the screenwriter was like, hey, P.S., Jennifer Aniston is my best friend. We lived on the same street with like, you know, all these like 90s comedy legends when we all first moved to LA and we all became best friends. And she wants to star in this movie. And we still want to make this movie. So we tried lots of different things. We tried selling it to other studios. We ended up making it independently with like an outside financier. And then once it was made, or once it was like on the road to becoming made, we got Dolly Parton on board, which was like really locked in the financing for it. You know what I mean? which is crazy, but that was like the final linchpin. And so then we had enough money to make the movie. We made it independently. I would do like set visits, and like the crew would come up to me and be like, movies don't always feel like this. Like, we want you to know, like, this set feels like family, and it doesn't always feel like this. And so if you have this experience again, just know that this one was special and it might not be like this again. And I was like, oh my God. And so we made the movie. It took a little while, but it sold to Netflix. And once it sold to Netflix, it released in like 2.5 months. So it was like a crazy whirlwind experience.
What?
Yeah. So it's I think it's a great example of like how you can get like a door slammed in your face multiple times and, things can still happen. So that was definitely a movie that was like not supposed to ever get made, and it got made, which was like just a miracle on all accounts.
Isn't that funny how that is a movie that should never have been made?
Yeah.
Did and killed it. And now this is like a book that you said just shouldn't have survived.
Yeah. I mean, it's true though. Like, it's just, and I think it's like, I just kept coming back to Vera. I don't know why, and I'm so glad I did, but I had a little run-in with cancer, like, 2 years ago now, and Vera was supposed to come out, like, a long time ago, but all these things happened. I became a caretaker. I uh got endometrial cancer, and like I was trying to like finish this book while I was like in the midst of like having hysterectomy. Just before I found out I had to have this hysterectomy, we'd bought a house in like another state, and we were doing like this huge move in the middle of all this and like recovering from that. It was just like absolutely crazy. And like, this is so much information. I'm so sorry. Please cut anything.
No,
No,
I'm like,
no, we're
this
best
is kind
friends,
of
remember?
eerie, actually. This is like so.
Yeah.
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 So keep going. I'm like,
Okay. We got a cancer unload on each other, but I had this hysterectomy, and they were like, it's just going to be like a regular hysterectomy. Like, we're just going to go out and take out what we need to. And the surgery ended up being like hours and hours long. My husband came down with COVID the day before. He couldn't be at the hospital. I was there by myself. Like, it was just crazy. And they were doing like a laparoscopic procedure, and they ended up going in and having to do a cesarean because there was so much cancer, and they had to take everything out. So it's what was called a radical hysterectomy, and it sent me into like immediate menopause.
yeah.
Man. And that also completely changed how I thought about bodies and aging, and like I'm like within a week I was like I noticed a difference in myself, and like my mental state, like just literally how I responded to the temperature in a room, like everything. So yeah, that was a moment when I was like, I think I should put down this book. I think I should just scratch it and try writing something else. Like, I don't feel good about this. But I just kept going. And so I think finally last summer, Vera Stein was finally finished, and we could release it this summer. So
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
the book really went through it with me.
It's just like it's like a weird universe thing. Like, and yes. Cheers to you, man.
Cheers to you.
Cheers to you. Because like this is a big fucking week. This is like this feels like it has to feel like such a celebration at this point, even compared to your other book. I know you've been through this a lot, but like that has to feel like this big week.
Yeah, Student Union that came out in May, and then this book were like really with me through some tough times. And so both of them feel like such personal accomplishments, just the fact that they exist. So that's really how I feel. I mean, I know that like it was really hard losing my dad last month. I was actually on a train, or like I was like in the middle of like the Canadian wilderness with my friends, like on a trip. And so I had no cell service.
No.
It was really like crazy. It was one of the most beautiful days I've ever witnessed in my life, though. Like, I'll never forget like how beautiful the sunset was that day and all these things. And I just remember thinking like, is this like the full circle on like my experience with this book? Because like, at the beginning Vera loses her mother, and like it was just Like, I just feel like with this like final experience before this book comes out, like the way I can talk about this book is so different than I could have talked about it when I first started writing it in 2016, you know?
So true. And
It's so
even
weird.
chapter to chapter, like going back and editing things, you're a different person.
Yeah.
Like you've had a lot of shit thrown at you.
Yeah.
So really, like you have experienced so many different things, and it shows, I think, in Vera's like tenacity through all of it. And her like full arc, and really every character like has a beautiful arc in it, but it's this moment where you find one thing that you relate to about like any of the characters, and they instantly like become part of you, and it's just, it rarely happens when you have that many characters.
Yeah.
Like sometimes they just feel like pieces of furniture that needed to be there to build out the room a little.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
But this was so tangible. I'm like, I identify with an 80-year-old man, and like I will
love
have a
him.
planner when I die. And
Yeah.
you know, like how can you not? Just how much heart was in
Right.
it, and
But,
I'm
like,
gonna pour myself more wine.
I know.
now
I need to
because-
take my shirt
God.
off. I cannot fucking believe that you were not a caretaker before and you wrote all of this about being a caretaker, and then you literally became a caretaker when this book
Yeah.
is like, Jenna, what kind of shit is that? Are we like, are we?
This is
I don't
some
know.
woo woo shit.
I'm a little woo woo at the moment because of
Yeah, you are.
a lot of stuff, but like, yeah, I think that's so incredible and such like it's woo woo, but
Yeah.
the universe is, it's working.
Man, it's something for sure. I've never had an experience like writing this book. I don't know that I ever will again. I kind of hope that I don't.
No, that's like, yeah.
Yeah,
don't need
but
it.
like I just like, you know, I don't know. I've just been trying to be grateful for every single one of these moments because all these really hard things happened and not everyone has the outlet that I did to express these things.
That's why
And
we're
to like
writers.
exercise those demons in such like a validating way. So I'm just trying to like breathe through this experience and hold on to it all, you know? So
And like allow yourself to celebrate it.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
it probably feels like I'm not going to make it about me, but I had a very similar experience with my book launch last month.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I
Oh,
had been
man.
writing the book for 10 years. It was like my MFA thesis 10 years
Please make
ago.
it all about you. I want to hear all about this. Tell me everything.
No, it's just weird because I'm like, why? What? No, and it was my thesis. It was 10 years. What were you gonna say?
Yeah.
I was gonna say I love hearing about Kate's life because it's so much more interesting than mine.
No, it's not even that. It's just that this has like, even just talking to you about and hearing your story like makes me feel like less insane because
because
it was
then
10
a week before,
years. A week before my grandmother dies while I'm at her house unexpectedly while I'm at her house.
Yeah.
Like the last conversation is her like reading her name in the acknowledgements of my book and like having this like wonderful like cathartic, like she was just like, I'm just so like excited for this, and she was like so pumped, and she didn't know that she was in the acknowledgement, so like she got really emotional seeing her name. Literally she died that night, unexpectedly, like totally bizarre.
That's wild.
Weird. And so my book came out 4 days later, 3 days, something like that. Like you were flying in like 2 days later. It was just, so yeah, like 10 years of writing this didn't leave my brain to the point where I'm writing about experiences 10 years ago. And my husband is like, I really don't want to read about like whatever you were going through 10 years ago when like we weren't together. And like you're writing about this like affair you had in France and whatever. It's fine. It's fine. He can deal with it. But yeah,
it was not an affair. No one was married.
It was not, but the 3 nights before, and it was so weird. Then moved. We bought a house and we moved the same time, the same month as the book coming out. Bought a house, moved here, and I just had surgery 5 days ago, 7 days ago. So like,
oh my God,
your appendix left the station.
Randomly the same month. Like, so I've been feeling very all over the fucking place mentally. And so like not to say like thank you for also going through really hard things, but like it's just made me feel insane. And so
Yeah.
anyway, I didn't feel like I could celebrate the book. I felt like just I was in all these different places at once. And I really wanted to be excited. And so yeah, so I'm just like, okay, I'm not in anyway, thank you.
No, you're not in this alone. And like what's crazy is that like was this your first book, by the way?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you. First
huge.
one.
You should be celebrating this. Just so you know, it's like books are like birthday months. Like you get to celebrate the first one for the full year. So you get a full year of celebrations. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think that like all of these things happen to everybody else. Do you know what I mean? Like all of
Yeah.
these things are happening to everybody else. Like life happens in clusters, you know, at least according to me. I made that up. I don't know if that's true, but to me it's true that life happens in clusters. And I think it feels so much more like so much heavier for writers, especially because when you become a professional writer and like you're actually publishing books, like your career is so accomplish based and so like anniversary based. Do you know what I mean? And so like it's impossible to not associate each book with all of the things happening in your life as they're happening. And so like my life will always be like tied to like all these like I had like one of my middle grade books came out while I was having my hysterectomy, and it was the day I had to put on clothes to go take a picture of myself in that book. Was like the first day I had gotten dressed in like weeks. Yeah, like it was
I
the
was
first
just
day
on
of what.
TV the other day and it was the first day I got dressed.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like I like the first day I'd gotten dressed, the first day I'd like washed my hair since the surgery, and it was to put a picture of myself on the internet smiling with a book that like I literally could not even tell you what it was about at the time. I was like, "Hi, I'm so sorry I had to cancel an entire book tour for this." Here I am. I don't know, it's really hard to like divorce your real life from your creative life when you have these books coming out because they're so personal even when they're not,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. That's so
Like, I don't care
fascinating.
if you're cranking out like 20 books a year.
Yeah.
They're each like handmade little heirlooms of yourself.
Yeah.
And there's something to that of when you pour yourself into something else, shit behind you just never stops.
No.
Yeah. Can I just say though, we've had two friends recently get hysterectomies and we need to talk about them more.
Yeah.
I'm just
Oh
putting
my
that
God.
we need to talk about them more. Why aren't women like being super open about when this happens? Because like we literally connected the two of them and we were like, you guys should chat. And it was like, why
Yeah.
aren't people talking about this?
No, I know. Like you have to like it's like you got to go to like a speakeasy on Reddit to find out information about like literally anything health oriented for women. It drives me
Oh my
bananas.
gosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
God,
I
I
can't
could
imagine.
go on
Yeah.
a rant.
Yeah. Honestly, if I hadn't like connected with other friends that had also had hysterectomies, but like at the same time, like when I had endometrial cancer, like once I was in the clear, immediately 2 or 3 people I knew also had some sort of like reproductive cancer come up. So it's like we just have to like be talking to each other about this. Like it's just also go get your coochie looked at. No matter who you
Please.
are, no matter what age you are, go get your coochie looked at, go get your titties looked at, go get it all looked at.
This is amazing. Like, I love this because I was going to ask how much of Vera like was real events, and so
Yeah,
it's fascinating to hear that like you know, maybe a lot of it wasn't, but like it's kind of coming to like the
Yeah.
caretaking thing, but also I feel like maybe you weren't an events planner at a retirement home.
No, I wasn't an events planner at a retirement home, but I am a former librarian, and
It's pretty baller.
I did all the programming for teenagers at my library that I was at.
which is essentially
And
just like little old people.
it's little old people basically. Yeah, except they like anime, you know? So I did do that. But yeah, My library was like a rural, that's the worst word of all time, like a small town library. And so we actually got hit with a tornado once that like took out the whole town. And our library became like the Red Cross headquarters. And so like it was like the craziest like changing hats moment where I was like, I didn't sign up for this. Like, I'm not good. And like a moment of panic. Please don't ask me a question. Like,
You became the emergency response person.
yeah. Like, I'm like, I can literally show you how to look up like your family's genealogy, but like, if you need to know, like, where to go for like medical assistance, I'm so sorry.
Like, go ask the people with the red vests and the big white cross.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, I can, yes. That is
Yeah.
so good.
yeah.
Jennifer Aniston.
Wild, right?
Was she the fucking best? I just have to know before I'm like, let's wrap. I need to know about Jennifer
Please.
Aniston.
Her and Dolly Parton, please.
All of it.
Yeah. Honestly, pissed me off with how nice she is.
God damn
Fuck.
it.
Like, I don't know. It's wild to me that you could be in Hollywood for that long and still be that nice, especially with like how absolutely like vitriolic people have been to her, like in the media. Like whether it's about like her and not having kids, her breaking up with people, or her, you know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
just wild to me. But yeah, our last night of filming, Jen had wrapped like a few days earlier, I think. And our last night of filming, she sent a food truck to like, we were a poor set, okay? Like we weren't getting a lot of fancy stuff. We were an indie movie technically. And she sent us a food truck that only served milk and cookies, and they stayed all night and like just fed us milk and cookies all night. So like just a good, sweet, kind person. And honestly, like she didn't have to do this movie. Like, this movie got made because she decided to do it, and so she'll always be like the guardian angel of Dumplin. Like we wouldn't have this movie if we didn't have her. Because when you go and pitch this to like independent like financiers, like they look at who is in your movie and they sign a dollar amount to that person's name and decide how much money the production of the movie is worth based on who is in the movie. And without Jen, like we would have been like, you can have $40 to make this movie.
Here's a video camcorder from the 90s.
Yeah,
Yes.
good luck to you. Go film Dumplin backrooms. Yeah. And then I mean Dolly, like I just like there's not a bad thing you can say about her. I did this interview with Dolly Parton for CMT, like country music television, and we were in this like pool house at the back of this house in Hollywood. They had turned all the air off. They were recording. It was so hot and sweaty. And Dolly Parton does all of her own makeup. She doesn't have a makeup artist, at least one that like travels with her regularly, like maybe for like special photo shoots or something. She does.
You know
She does
this.
all of her own makeup, and I'm just like slowly glistening next to her. And she's like, she's like, let's take a break. And she calls over her lovely, like, I couldn't even say this man is an assistant. He is like the spinal cord of her daily operation. You know what I mean? Like he's keeping things together. He's carrying around like a Louis Vuitton bag full of like makeup and hair extensions. Like this man is amazing.
He's the dude from Veep.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
He's a bag man. Yeah.
Yes,
He is the bag man.
What a
But like
character.
so much
Yeah.
more, like just so much more than that too. He's fantastic. So she calls him over and she gets out her own compact and powders my face. And I was like,
I'm never washing off this makeup ever
I'm never
again.
watching his
Yeah.
makeup again. My husband was like hiding behind a camera and like took a little picture of it happening. And I was like, when I die, this is my obituary photo. Just so you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would be like, I'm fine dying now. Like I'm good. Like I did all
Yeah.
the things. I'm
Yeah,
fine.
I've done everything there is to do.
I'm
Jen
like,
and
I
Dolly.
feel like it's happening to me when you tell that story.
Good.
I can
I
picture Dolly.
can't. Those are experiences I can literally not hold within myself. Like, if you think of your body and your brain as a bucket, I have to just remove those things from the bucket and only like recall them when someone asks me about them. Because if I lived with those things in my head, I'd never get anything done, like ever. So
there's no need.
Yeah.
You peaked.
Yeah.
I don't think it does. I don't think whatever you do, no matter how much success like after this.
No,
that's
and like
when Dolly powders your nose.
Yeah.
There's
like
you did something.
What's amazing
really
about Dolly is like everyone is thrilled to meet Dolly. You know what I mean? Like she is famous to famous people. Like no one passes up a chance to meet Dolly. So yeah, she's the best.
And
oh my gosh.
I wish I could sit here and be like, it's been almost 10 years since Dumplin came out. Oh, I guess it will be 10 years maybe next year.
No.
I don't know. I have to look up. Well, 10 years since the book, but like when I want to be like, it's been 10 years since the movie came out and I'm ready to tell you all the seedy, dark shit that happened.
And you're like, there is none. There's milk cookies and Dolly Parton.
Such my personality. I love conflict. I love drama. I would love to bring that all to your doorstep. But it was such a pure good experience that it wasn't nothing bad happened. I got in a fight with like the producers and the screenwriters sometimes about like things that, like wording on the script or like different scenes, but like I get in a fight with everybody. So
you are not conflict averse. You are not like me.
Things were too good, so I just decided to fucking throw down.
Yeah. One time Sierra is so conflict averse, like it just makes her skin crawl. She hates it. And
that relationship, because you're besties.
Well, I'm like, you're gonna fight with me. Like, you're gonna tell me exactly how you feel, because I know that you don't like this. Like, I know that your face is like doing the buffering thing right now. So we're gonna talk about it. So she will fight with me and she will tell me no, and that's how I know she loves me. But one time I got this like totally out of pocket email from like a random reader, and I was like, this is ridiculous. I can't believe they sent this. And she took my laptop and read it and was like, this is what I would say, and then typed it, and it wasn't that scathing at all to me, but I was like, yeah, girl, and I hit send, and she was like, what the fuck? She was like, that was just for us. You were supposed to delete it. This was just this was just an emotional exercise for us. And I was like, it was great. I have no notes.
Yeah, that's like me and my husband. Like, he never tells me no. The other day, I asked him to go upstairs and get my laptop charger. He told me no. And I texted Kate immediately.
She literally texted me about it.
I'm like, my husband told me no. What are you going to do? Like, what is this? I'm like, I'm floored. It's been 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And he hasn't moved.
Yeah.
I'm going to go do something about that.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh my, I swear we could talk to you.
Oh my God. I'm like, okay, we're at 50 minutes. I need to say, did we hit are there things that we didn't like?
The only thing we didn't hit was like the date of the book.
Oh yeah. The book comes. There's romance and sex, if that's your thing. There's kissing, so don't worry about that.
Oh my God.
The old people do that, and the 40-year-olds do that, so yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to get old, everyone.
Yeah.
What? Oh, no. Wait. I'm going to pull up the quote because I highlighted it in my Kindle and my Kindle app because I just bought a Kindle for the very first time today. And I feel so accomplished. Okay. In the end, we're all sluts and then we die. Words to live by.
I have to tell you that line is inspired by a line from one of my favorite movies, Jawbreaker, with Rose McGowan, when she says life is a bitch and then you die. And I was like,
yes.
Yeah, it is.
That was the very first one I highlighted. I'm like, fucking sold.
Yours, oh my God.
Man.
I mean, the memes and quotes that are going to come out of this book, I'm calling it.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So
because we're going to make
them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You're going to make all that.
Yeah, please count me in on that.
I
love
literally
Katie.
think that should be the release week content. Should just be like
Yeah.
the fucking one-liners because they're
Yeah.
so insane. Like that one. There was, oh my gosh, was it Michael Douglas? Was it Michael Douglas at the end?
Everyone asked me this, and I'm like, I don't care if it was. So yes, let's say it's Michael Douglas.
I'm gonna just accept that it's Michael Douglas.
Yeah.
We have fucking fuckity fuck is mine. And then I have surely I wasn't the only person whose vagina was wider than that appalling excuse for a gusset. Are you fucking kidding me?
But really, what are they thinking anymore with gussets? Like, I shouldn't get a wedgie in my vagina lips. Like, that's not a thing that should be happening.
No, like, go to any person and show them that width. And they will be like, doesn't compute. No. And yet they keep fucking doing it.
Yeah.
This has been another episode of Margs and Manuscripts. Thanks for listening. Your hosts are Jenna G. Judith, Kate Winelovich. Our writer and public relations manager is Kate Winelovich. Music by John Winelovich. Editor, Jenna G. Judith. Creative direction, Jenna G. Judith. And our podcast manager, Kate Winelovich. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, all that jazz. Visit our website at margsandmanuscripts.com. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button.